Welcome into With Him podcast. We are excited today because we are doing a special Christmas. Woo! Check out this. You guys, hey, if you're listening, you need to get on. What are we on YouTube? You got to go see this. You got to see this shirt. Oh my God!
A unicorn dressed up as Santa, vomiting out candy canes and other Christmas goodies.
Yes,
yeah, man.
Ugly sweaters. So godly. So beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, it is rough. It is rough. You need to see this. It might be one of the ugly Christmas sweaters.
So great, man.
I've ever seen. And then we've got our little lights on. We're dressed up like trees here, looking good.
Yes.
Yeah. We Julie says that you can go into some kind of a trance or something with these. When you get them flashing and everything, and then maybe you might anyway. So
and the homage to Charlie Brown.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit today. I think we'll hit on a little Charlie Brown today. Hey, we're gonna have some fun with today. I'm Raz. This is Dr. J. Really glad you guys are coming in. We might be a little bit different today. Well, we already are different. We already know that. We already know we're weird. And also shout out to Mike. We want to say thanks to him for everything he does here. But we're gonna have some fun today. We're gonna talk about some Christmas stuff. I'm gonna surprise you with some things today.
Yeah, I really don't know what's coming. I mean, I don't really know exactly.
We're gonna see.
Great.
We're gonna see what happens here. All right. So we're trying not to be religious about it, because how a lot of times Christians all like to bang on Christmas. Man, I love Christmas. I think it's fun. We all know Jesus wasn't born on December 25th. It's okay. Right. Calm down, everybody.
Right.
But I'm telling you, there's also something where there is a spirit where people are more receptive. I mean, the people in the world are more receptive to receiving, to giving, to going to church and kind of recognizing spiritual things that they might normally not. At least in America, I feel like that's the case, don't you? Totally. So I think I feel like even though it's funny, we talk about focusing on the Lord, focusing on His face, focusing on Him, even though we have all these other ugly sweater, excuse me, Santa Claus. I mean, all these other things. But there is definitely more of a moving toward and a focusing toward Jesus and what He's done. And I mean, you even hear it with the athletes. You hear it with even with musicians. They'll play and then they'll talk a little bit about it. And so sometimes even when they don't know what they're talking about, it'll be focused toward it.
And I was going to say, to your point, we're recording this right at Christmas time. And as a tradition, our family, over the last couple of years, we've gone to see the Cincinnati Pops at Music Hall here in Cincinnati. It's a beautiful location. If you ever get a chance to visit Cincinnati, even just to drive by the building, it is gorgeous. Yeah. But as a part of the special holiday show, the director there, he had everyone stand up, and we sang Christmas carols.
Awesome.
The entire, I don't know how many thousand of people were in there, but we're all standing there singing Christmas carols together. And there was a moment in my mind, I was like, this is kind of weird and cool all at the same time. And we were singing The First Noel, Joy to the World. Then we sang, Oh, Come All You Faithful.
Yeah.
And I'm standing around, all of these people, and I don't know the religious or the the faith walk of the majority of those people, but there was something old.
Yep.
And nostalgic, and sometimes those things can be kind of cheesy. But in that moment, to your point, you could feel like there's something of faith, there's something of holiness and the beauty of walking with the Lord that we were sharing together. So to your point,
did you get a sense of God's presence even as you were doing that?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit,
right.
yeah.
It's funny. We going back to the same thing, same director too, John. What's his? I can't remember his last name. Great director, by the way.
So great.
Cincinnati's got some amazing musicians. But maybe about 8 years ago, might be 10 years ago now. Amy Grant often comes to town and does a Christmas show with the orchestra, and she did this year as well, early in December. Yeah. But one year she came, and it was my son Jesse and I went because Julie was supposed to go with me, and she was sick, and Vince Gill showed up. I mean, like we didn't know, it was it was Amy Grant and the orchestra, and then he shows up, and of course I know that obviously she's been a Christian artist and so on, but it was exactly the same thing. that kind of happened. We went into, not only her songs, especially the ones focusing on Christ, had some real depth to them. And then, it was her like really good band. I even recognized a few of them from back when, way back in the 80s and Unguarded tour and all that. I mean, some of these old guys, they can still play. And then an orchestra with the band. Yep. And then Vince Gill's incredible. I mean, I didn't even know how great a guitar player he was. I've never seen him live. And I knew he was a good musician, but oh my gosh. But anyway, we were, we're there, and the tunes that she went into, you could just sense God's presence on. And then the same thing, she led us into like some just singing choruses together, Christmas choruses together, and people it was cool. There's I'm telling you, it's almost like one of those things that happens every December in society, like when we have things like a 9/11 or something like that. It's almost like people they kind of come together and they're like, okay, there is a sense of something that's more than me here, So I love it. For those of you guys out there who are evangelists and want to share your faith, man, it's the time to do it. I mean, people are sensitive to it. And as we know and have talked about before as well, this time of year can be tough for people when you've lost. I just lost my mom. You lose people during this time. And I lost my dad around this in January, but he was really sick and moving that direction way back in 90. And that was, I don't even think my mom put anything up, so it's hard. So I recognize that. But even within that, there's something of good opportunity to really love people. So I love this time of year. I'm almost as bad as your daughter, Bailey. Like tell us about her. She's Christmas crazy, Christmas music crazy.
October 31st. She's, some people will be like, let's wait till Thanksgiving. Bailey, once the candy is in hand, you know what I'm saying? From trunk or treat or trick or treat, Mariah Carey starts to the voice of Mariah Carey starts to fill the house, man. And it's wild. And some people are like that. I mean, they're just if they feel any sort of temperature change from the summer, they're like, it's Christmas time.
Right. I noticed. And maybe you guys noticed it wherever you live, and you're getting this, but I noticed around here at COVID, when everybody had been locked down so much, that next Christmas, it was like that. Like every house was lit up October. It was like just people were ready to celebrate something sort of normal and just settle into something a little bit, But I've always been one of those kind of hardcore guys that's like, you shouldn't even see a Christmas thing till after Thanksgiving. But I've actually changed on that a little bit. In fact, Julie laughs at me, so do my kids, because I was like super hardcore on it,
And you've changed.
Well, part of that change too is that I realized, because of with our schedule, is if you've been in church business, if you've done it as an occupation as we have, then that's your time of year. It starts to get all crazy, and it gets crazy early because you have to be prepped as a musician for everything later. And then I began to recognize we weren't putting up our tree until like December 5th, because all of a sudden I've got these rehearsals. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna start putting up the week before Thanksgiving, so it's ready on it. But anyway, so they gave me a hard time about it because I was pretty hardcore about it, when I was younger,
It makes me think of those stores, like those Christmas stores that are just open year round.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if you've been to those.
Yeah. They have them down in Tennessee.
It's kind of like
those or whatever.
I remember walking into one, but it was like late spring, early summer. It's weird. It's like totally you walk in, you're like, oh, I should feel cold and sort of nostalgic, but it's hot outside, or whatever. It's kind of funny.
Right. What it must feel like if you have California Christmas, or Florida Christmas, you're down in Miami.
Or Southern Hemisphere.
Yeah, in general. That's right. Anywhere.
It's warm.
That's right.
When we're thinking,
where you were born.
Yeah, down in
the
Brazil.
Foreigner that you
down
are.
In Brazil. Christmas time, there's no, what's snow? What's snow at Christmas? There is none because it's flipped. For the Southern Hemisphere.
Oh yeah, we've had these missionaries come up from EMI and pastors that see snow for the first time here in Cincinnati. So that is kind of funny. Yeah, like Australia's flipped like that too, right? Their winter, summer, and vice versa. So that's kind of funny like that. But here's something I thought would be fun. That I'm gonna surprise you with.
Oh boy.
Okay, if you can remember, what was the worst Christmas that ever happened to you? What do you remember any Christmas that was like, okay, this bit.
Okay, that's funny.
Oh, hey, we didn't prep. We weren't lying.
No.
I'm gonna throw it out.
Well, Jess will remember this, unfortunately. So we're in Memphis, Tennessee. So Jess and I got married in Texas, met in seminary in Fort Worth, got married in Texas. We were serving churches in Texas. Then we moved out to Memphis, Tennessee. So this is fairly early in our marriage. We've got both of our kids. So it's Christmas time. And, you know, the kids are pumped. They're getting to that, you know, they're older than toddler. So they're
Right.
pumped about like coming down the
awesome.
stairs and Christmas
Yep.
and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that particular year, Jess will remember this, both she and I had like food poisoning, stomach bug, both of us.
Oh, no.
And so both leading up to Christmas and on Christmas Day. And I remember, this is awful. I mean, it's just, I remember tag teaming with Jess. I would be up in the room just sick. She'd be with the kids because the kids wanted to celebrate.
Sure,
you know, they wanted to
sure.
open presents and stuff.
Sure.
And then I'd be resting and sick, and then I'd come down the stairs. She'd come up the stairs. We'd high five each other, tag in.
Mhm.
She'd go up and be sick, and I'm with the kids
Right.
trying to play with the bike and the Barbies and the GI, you know. And then she would come down and we'd high five each other and just tagged out. We tagged out.
Oh, geez.
So one of us could be resting or sick, frankly,
Right.
while the other one was actually hanging with the kids because we wanted the kids to experience it. But I just remember thinking, this is miserable.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because I'm off work. Everyone, it's Christmas. This is so fun. We all get to be together. And Jess and I were sick as a dog. So I remember, just as you asked that question, that's probably one of the worst.
Oh, definitely.
One of the worst,
I
where you're just, that's all I can remember. Is walking up and down the stairs, walking up the stairs thinking, oh, okay, Jess is going to handle the kids for a little bit while I'm sick, and then coming down the stairs, kind of mustering myself up to be with the kids. That's mine.
Right. How about when you were a little kid? Was there any you remember as a kid where for some reason it was like, oh, this wasn't very good?
I can't remember too many that were negative.
I know your mom and dad, so they're probably pretty. They're on top of that.
They were making sure.
Yeah.
You know, that our Christmas experience was really, really. I'm not sure that I can actually think of anything that was really, really bad. I know that my dad's mom passed away around Christmas time, so I remember that was a pretty down. That was a pretty sad thing, and I was aware of my father's, you know, sadness, my dad's sadness, and obviously my mom. But honestly, I feel pretty blessed that most of my childhood Christmases were pretty awesome.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Okay. How about one that was just killer? I mean, it's like, all right, this was the best ever.
I'm trying to think.
Again, as a kid or as an adult.
Yeah.
Either one.
I'm trying to think.
You guys need to, hey, out there, you need to be thinking about these questions and send it in. Tell us some of your stories.
Yeah,
We'd
totally.
love to hear some of you guys' stories.
Let me think about this.
I'll go while you're thinking.
Yeah, go.
All right, so I do have a couple. As I said, one was my dad was coming close to passing. He passed in January and from cancer, and we knew that was going. That was just a, you know, you just sort of had just sort of a cloud on the whole thing. And Julie and I lived in Arizona, and we're supposed to be there for a job, and then it didn't pan out, and just it was just a kind of a mess, you know. But we had Eli down there, so that was awesome. But so that was one. But I remember one when I'm 6 years old. This is the era of parenting that I come out of.
Right.
So I'm 6 years old, and we live in Iowa, and my dad gets me a very nice Cub Scout pocket knife. Has the little Cub Scout emblem on it and everything. It's fantastic. I love it. Right, showing me how to use it. You know, you're whittling, doing your. You had to whittle away from your hands, you know, it just shows me how to do it. And then him and one of his buddies is up like fixing some lights on the roof or something like that. So I'm down there whittling, and I still have the scar right here from where I ended up getting, I think, five stitches.
So you whittled your hand.
I whittled right into the thumb as a 6-year-old. Of course, I'm screaming bloody murder. They both about fall off the roof. There's blood all over in my mom's car while she's taking me to the, you know, and I don't know back then. I don't remember how hard it was to get into a hospital on a Christmas morning. So that was that Christmas in Iowa. You know, parents giving their 6-year-old son, you know, pocket knife that could slice paper. You know, so you know that was the 70s.
Yeah,
that was the 70s parent.
Right.
And then actually, what's funny, and then you laugh about this. Now, keep in mind, you guys, we're from the West. We're from Colorado. And anyway, one of my better ones ever, and my dad used to love to do this. He'd always have like some big present for us kids, and and it wouldn't even necessarily be something we'd ask for. Sometimes it was. You know how you'd ask for a bike? You're like, I would love to have that bike. I've outgrown this one, and you kind of have a sense that maybe your mom and dad will get it for you. You know, so it might be like that, or it might be something just totally you didn't know anything about or whatever. But my dad loved to do this. He would. We'd be done with all of our presents, and it was great, you know, and just like families do, and it was, that was fun, everything, you know, and you're like, and then you're kind of like, I kind of thought maybe I was going to get that bike or whatever, you know, but it was not that big a deal, whatever. And then he'd always pull something like, hey, you know what, I need this, you know, screwdriver. Would you go down in the garage and go get it? You know, he'd do one of those, you know, and he loved to do that. And I remember one year, and I was a little older. That's what I'm saying. Keep in mind we're from the West, but I think I was maybe 13 or 14, and he said, hey, go grab something like in the closet or clothes closet over there, blah, 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 open it. And there's a 20 gauge shotgun in there, like a really nice one. We hunted. I mean, I was duck hunting at 6 or 7. So anyway, but so it was my really beautiful automatic Ithaca, beautiful Italian shotgun. I mean, we're talking expensive then, you know, and I still have it today. It's my favorite gun. I can hit anything with it. And anyway, but it's just like, it was just so cool. You're just like, and him doing it that way. Now, of course, you start getting older. You're like, okay, he's going to pull this, you know, whatever. Right. So, but anyway, we always had some things that were kind of like that, and that would be really fun.
I got a fun one that's family related. I remember one year, so I think I'm probably 9 or 10, I would say. And so Jen, my sister, would be 6, and then Josh would be 3 or so. Maybe I might be a little bit older than that. Right. But and that was the year that one of the big toys that everyone was loving, well, in general, the Nerf systems had come out.
Oh,
all of the Nerf guns and different things. And I had wanted this Nerf bow and arrow.
Oh, that's great.
It's like a plastic, it's a plastic Nerf bow and arrow, and you pull it back and then release it, and then it shoots a little Nerf arrow.
Yeah.
And I remember my mom had this mistletoe looking thing that she would hang. She would hang on the door frame that would go from sort of our formal dining room into our kitchen area. This was in Texas growing up. And she would hang that mistletoe, and I remember getting this bow and arrow, and for the rest of the day, really for the rest of Christmas break, I am tagging stuff all over my house. That's awesome. And the great prize, was this mistletoe that had a little bell that hung down from it on a ribbon, had a bell on there. Oh, yeah. And I'm out here just Katniss Everdeen, Hunger Games, Legolas, trying to knock out this thing. And I knocked that mistletoe bell down so many times. And Mom would be mad. And I'm like, I don't know who did that. And then I remember the rest of that Christmas break, I would just be tagging Josh and hitting Jen as well.
You have moving targets. It's sweet.
Oh, totally.
It is sweet. It is honey. Totally. It is Hunger Games.
I'm trying to remember if we had a dog at the time. No, I don't think we didn't get our dog until I was in high school. But I'd have been trying to hit the dog. I'd been
of course
trying to hit Josh, hitting Jen. Hitting all sorts of targets all around the house. So fun.
Yeah. Oh, so fantastic.
If right now,
sounds like right now I'd be excited.
If right now you handed me a Nerf bow and arrow, this would be one of the best days.
Right.
I would love that so much.
Right.
I would be tagging all around the church. I'd be trying to knock stuff down. Like setting little, like if you set little, I would set little GI Joes.
Of course.
I would be setting little army men everywhere, and I would just be taking those things out.
Oh, yeah.
So awesome. So if anybody wants to, maybe we need to, this episode is sponsored by Nerf.
Sponsored by Nerf.
If anybody wants to, anyone from the Nerf Corporation would like to send in.
Set us up. Just back up the truck right to the church. It'll end up in the youth area anyway, but for now, we'll have a good time with it.
That was fun.
That's funny. All right, and so this is absolutely true. We had a little staff Christmas party yesterday.
Yeah.
What was one of the gifts that came in?
A Nerf gun.
And who'd that come from?
It came from you because you understand joy. You understand joy and Christmas merriment. That's what you
I knew deep in my heart that our boy Mikey B would end up with that, and he loved it. He ended up with that, and I knew it that he would, because for the same exact reasons we're all talking about. In fact, one of the things that we always had fun with our kids as adults, our boys as adults, and we still have all their stockings hanging up and everything, is we always did do something fun that was childlike.
Yeah.
Just something childlike.
Yeah.
And I don't remember. We've done all kinds. Like you remember the little army men with the parachute and you can throw them up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like I'd have those in there. We always just had something goofy and fun. Or our poor Peyton, and Peyton, our dog.
Poor
Peyton One year we got him Nerf guns, little Nerf pistols in each of there. I think that poor dog, that dog was terrorized for a day. I'm just like, dudes, we found Nerf, bullets for next 2 months behind furniture and everything. Yep. That poor dog. Even there, I was like, guys, come on, you can't. That poor dog was he was so
what's
sweet.
Happening.
He didn't know what's going on.
He doesn't understand what's happening. Anyway, poor Pate.
But see, but it's good you had kids. Yeah. Your siblings to shoot. That's better. Way more humane, I feel like.
Totally.
Yeah.
It was. Then my birthday was summertime, so I remember similarly that year we got all the Super Soakers. Remember the Super Soakers? Those guns they'd have like the tank and you'd fill up with water.
Oh, dude.
I remember.
They can
I remember tagging my brother and sister so many times. If y'all are listening, Josh and Jen, you know what I'm talking about. The Super Soaker 2000 or what it was. You pump that thing up and. So fun.
Yeah, you guys from the East Coast might not understand all this love of guns, but yeah, man. Texas, Colorado. I mean, this is the life.
It's
baby.
like spongy Nerf bow and arrows, and it's just water. I mean, come on, no one's getting hurt. No, it was so fun.
Now the actual controversy I need to ask about here is as your dad being a professor in the biblical world, was it actual mistletoe in your house, and was this allowed? I mean, what kind of Oh my gosh!
It was just decorative.
What kind of apostasy is happening here? I don't.
It was all decorative. It was all decorative. I don't even think.
Oh, Stan,
it was like,
come on now,
man, come on.
Come on now, Stan. I feel like I know Stan. I feel like he would like that mistletoe.
The main thing was the ribbon hanging down with the bell on the end. That was the thing I was obsessed with. Because that thing you'd hit it and it'd be swinging. Now I got a moving target, So
gosh, man, life is good. Right okay, you just described one of the best Christmases.
Like seriously, if I could shoot that thing right now, I would do it. That sounds like so much fun.
That is so funny, man. I tell you, it's funny, like the simple things too.
Yeah.
With that.
Totally.
Like we were joking, we were for grandson, for Tucker, we were kind of like, what are we going to get him? I'm like, get him the box and some paper.
Totally.
He's going to have a blast.
Totally.
I mean, just rattle in that paper. This morning, we have Tuesday Tucker time. He comes over to our house.
Nice.
And so Gigi, Grandma Julie. So Gigi brings him into the kitchen this morning before he came into work, opens up where all the pans are. Dude sat there for just 25 minutes, just pulling it down, smacking around the lemon squeezer in a pan. I mean, just
it's the best.
It's so simple, man. But I mean, like that, like with the Nerf. I mean, that's such a simple toy. I don't know, man. Sometimes it's really fun. It's good to go back to.
And I remember when our kids, when Bailey and Caden were not walking, and you'd get them this awesome gift, and they were playing with the wrapping paper.
In the box.
They were playing with the wrapping paper and the box. And like, no, this is an expensive gift.
Yeah,
they're not even paying. They literally toss it, and they're just playing with the crinkle wrappers. Exactly. And it's the same kind of thing. We're like,
it's like, what are we doing here?
But it's bringing them joy. So it's so fun.
Yeah, it's funny. That's pretty awesome. Yeah. Well, this is something. Last night we went to, and again, guys, Cincinnati's so amazing. We have so many great musicians and stuff. In fact, we went together with our families together to a show from a musical group called Cincinnati Contemporary Jazz Orchestra here in Cincy, and it was like a full-on band. We were loving it. As you guys know, Jamie sat in, kind of the trombone row or something in high school.
The trombones were killer. They were humble. They were really humble and really, really good. Not like the cocky trumpet players, Raz.
That's right.
The trombones, man, they carry the orchestra.
It was good. No, it was really fantastic. And then last night, we got a chance to see kind of some of that broken down. The director of that, Eric Licklider, he's a trumpet player as well. And so basically that rhythm section, I was telling Jamie about this, that rhythm section and Eric, and then this lady who's an amazing singer here in Cincy, her name's Mandy Gaines, and she's seriously kind of a Aretha Franklin, female James Brown on crack. I mean, she's good, man. She can get it. And her voice was a little stronger last night. Yep. I mean, but she's singing all the time too. I'm amazed, what she can do. But anyway, so we saw them last night, and he said something really interesting, and I kind of wanted to ask you if you knew anything about this. He said something interesting. He said, how did he say it? He was actually he was going to introduce Christmas Time Is Here, the Vince Guaraldi, and we have a whole story around that too, don't we? But anyway, having to do with games. But anyway, it was interesting. He said this is he said, and the next song we're going to do is really in the pop consciousness of America. Blah 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 is made famous in the pop consciousness was the word he used of America in America. And then he went on to talk about Charlie Brown and Vince Guaraldi. I wonder, is Charlie Brown like a thing anywhere else in the world? Do you know? I mean, I don't. I mean, whether it's the comic strips or, I just wonder about that.
Maybe it is just an American.
Maybe some of our people, out there can get back to us about that because we'll have to ask our boy Tom. Maybe
over in the UK.
Over in the UK. What? What? We'll see what. That's what I say. Tom, is Charlie Brown and Charlie Brown Christmas a thing over in the UK? What? All right, I had to pick on you, Tom, just a little bit. We love Tom, but that is just interesting. I'm like, I've not thought about that, but boy, it is something in our consciousness. It's part of. Well, and so is a lot of other things. As you go into, you guys have your family movies, we have our family movies, and all that, and that's just an interesting. I don't know, sort of thing that I think it feels like, and kind of coming back to your Nerf thing, it feels like I think people feel that nostalgia again. They kind of what you even said that about singing the other night.
Yeah.
There's sort of a nostalgia that happens, and I think people will see, and now as kids are, like your kids or my kids, they see Elf, and they'll feel that, or Home Alone, that kind of thing. And for us, for us, and from the. I'm a little, just slightly older than Jamie, maybe a year or two. But
more than that. Go ahead.
Okay, we could have babysat him as a baby, but there were, we're from the 3-channel day, CBS, NBC, ABC, right? And it was like a really big deal. Like everybody talked at school. It's like, hey, Tuesday night's the Charlie Brown Christmas special, and if I remember right, they'd even, especially as I started to get older, they'd show it randomly a few times through December. This is all before. Kind of for VHS and before doing all that, and then later obviously you buy whatever you want to see. But I was kind of like, I came across a thing where I was kind of studying up on it a little bit, and it's a really intriguing story, the whole Charlie Brown special, and sort of where it comes from, and even how it gets involved with Vince Guaraldi and how he's involved with it. But Mendelsohn is the guy who's the animator, the producer.
Okay.
Because you have Schultz, obviously, who's the owner of it and obviously was involved in the thing. Anyway, Mendelsohn, who's a director, wanted to do he was actually wanting to do a documentary on Peanuts and the Peanuts gang, Charles Schultz and all that kind of stuff, and started to do a documentary. And he was in his car and he heard Vince Guaraldi's, just one of his songs. It was it was his trio, and it was I forget what song. He had kind of a famous song, believe it or not, that was actually kind of pop. Back when sometimes, jazz stuff would become pop. Anyway, he hears it on the radio, and he's thinking, oh, man, this would be fantastic with my documentary. And so he contacts him. He ends up writing what we know as the famous Linus and Lucy for the documentary. The documentary itself never gets released. So that never happens. Then, and I don't know if they made the full thing or not. I'm not totally sure about that. But then, and I think it was CBS, right? CBS there was something where Coca-Cola and CBS were combining together on some kind of a thing, And so they were wanting to Coca-Cola was wanting to commission like a Christmas special. And so basically CBS was trying to, I think I'm right, CBS was trying to find something, to work with Coke and do this and make a lot of money, I'm sure. And so the whole thing, bottom line, long story short, they make the Charlie Brown special. It's Vince Guaraldi who does all the music, and then you get all these other famous songs that are from it. Yeah. What's always interesting, and I've heard this about other things as well. What's interesting that I understand is the bigwigs at CBS did not like the music. They thought people are going to think this jazz sucks. They're not going to like this. They didn't like the music. They honestly didn't like the animation, and it's very interesting animation if you really think about it. But of course, we're talking about back then, like claymation. There were things,
right.
It wasn't like TV; it was like AI in it. I mean, it wasn't like Star Wars, cartoons or something. It was, it was pretty rough. Anyway, Rudolph. Even Frosty the Snowman, you got the little
Burl Ives
little pixelation, so it wasn't like anything was that great, but they didn't like the animation, didn't really like the story, and they really
reading Luke
hated reading Luke.
Yeah.
They were like that
Christmas story out of the Bible. Yeah.
Oh, this is this is awesome.
What year was that? Do you know?
It was before I was born, man. Okay. So it was like it was 60. No, it was like 64, 65, right around the time I was born. 64, 65, and they did not like that at all. And they're like, of course, and it's so funny because then when it was seen the first time, it was unbelievable how many people saw it.
Yeah.
And then it just picked up momentum from there. And of course, then these songs became as Eric Licklider was saying the other night, became like a pop consciousness on our. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
And I've heard this too, and this is absolutely true. Is that in The Wizard of Oz, the bigwigs again hated Somewhere Over a Rainbow. They're like, it's so slow. It's going to slow the whole storyline down. It's so boring, and then blah, blah, blah. And we're going to cut it out, and we're going to take it out. And there were a couple other main scenes that have been the epic scenes. Yeah, we need to cut those out. And in fact, the director had such an understanding. By the way, bigwigs, leave it to musicians to understand what's going on, not you. But the director actually threatened to quit or did quit over it. Like, well, if you don't leave this in, I'm out.
Yeah.
And I think it forced him. Leave it in, and then of course that's obviously the most iconic song for the movie, and just an iconic song in general.
Totally.
And it's the same thing here with this, and so that's really interesting. The funny thing I always think that's funny with Vince Guaraldi is, and of course again you're in the '60s or whatever, you almost can't find. I'm over exaggerating this only slightly. You almost cannot find a picture of him without him smoking a cigarette.
Interesting.
In his mouth.
Yeah.
And you kind of don't think about that in connecting a musician to a children's, it's not a big deal, but I always just think it's kind of funny. It's a little
That's fun, dude.
Whenever I see him, I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah, CBS did not like it all, and they especially did not like that part. And I love that so much because again, it's funny, if you'll have ears to hear and eyes to see. I mean, I'm wondering, even as we come into the kingdom, if we figure out people came to Christ over that little speech. And it's always, and even the way that, and of course, most people, or probably a lot of people know this, but Charles Schultz was a believer. And that's why you have a lot of these funny discussions with the Peanuts gang about church and, and just using comedy. One of my favorites was always kind of funny is Charlie Brown is apparently studying the letters of Paul, and Linus or one of them's asking him, hey, how'd it go in Sunday school today? Did you like it? He goes, well, it kind of made me feel weird. I felt like I was reading someone else's mail, or whatever. It'd be all these little kinds of things like that. But yeah, he was a believer. And so, and it's funny, but even within that animation, when they get to that part, they just quiet everything down. And he goes, I know what it's about, Charlie Brown. And I love that because even then, the question that Charlie Brown's so struggling with is what we all do. Is like, it's the who am I kind of a thing. It's like, it's, that's why the characters relate so well, because he's picked on. Yeah. He doesn't know who he is. He doesn't have the identity, and then, and within that, I love that so much because he's like, I know what this is about. Yeah. Let's get down to what it's about. Man, when he reads that, there's something really powerful about that. Yeah. How cool would it have been to be one of those kids? Right. That are the voices, or to be Linus, whoever that that actor is. Of course, it shows it every time, but that'd be so cool. Yeah. So, but I love it, and like I say, if you kind of have ears to hear, even if you watch it this year, make sure you watch it with your kids, and you go, there's something on that. Yeah.
Well, it's almost like inside. It's an emotional thing, but probably also a spiritual thing. It's like inside, you can sense when something smells like home. And I know nostalgia is part of that, but even at a spiritual level, since we've been created by God, He is our Father. He is our Creator. And so when you start to tap in, it's like something deeper than nostalgia, because nostalgia can just be just warm memories. Sure. But it's something deeper than nostalgia where there's a sense of home. Right. Of being with the one who created me, being with family, there's something there that finds its way into the holiday season and some of these movies. And yeah, it's so beautiful, dude. Yeah, no question. It's interesting because we've been talking a lot as we've again, we're on our Bible project. We're just the sense that we're having is that we've lost Eve. I mean, we've lost Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. Yeah, we've lost Eden, and that's the sense that we're having. It's like, so when we have these places that feel more like home, and especially when it is connected
to the Father. Again, I still think sometimes that's why people, they're not always going for their family, that go to an Easter service or go to a Christmas Eve service. There's something in their heart where they know it's like, I'm supposed to be connected to the one who made me, but we've been disconnected.
Right.
And I think that's part of what you're feeling. That, and even that family part. See, we always forget that the Trinity is a family, a perfect family. And literally that's one of Jesus's last prayers before going to the cross, is that we become like they are, loving, that we love. It's such a cool, I mean, it really is kind of crazy and even almost hard to say, but it's like he's praying, I love the Father loves me, the Spirit reveals everything we're doing. I want you to love the Father the way I love the Father. The Father wants you to love me the way he loves me. Oh, and by the way, we want you to love each other the way we love each other. So I think when you have and we're all dysfunctional families. It's always like one of my favorite guys I've talked about on here before is Gary Sweden. And I remember one of the first times we were in with him and he says, oh no, it's not whether you have a dysfunctional family, it's just how dysfunctional. Right. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's pretty good. Of course, because we're all broken and we're all sinners in it and we've all had our hurts and all that. But if you are in a somewhat functional family, I think that is the sense you get. And it doesn't even have to be your own direct family. Like we've had, my wife, as you guys, Mike knows this as well. As you guys well know, she has a gift of hosting. She has a gift of making our home feel like a place where it's a place for the Spirit. So you can come and I think you can sense God. And so we've had so many small groups and people who aren't even believers yet will be like, when I come here, I just feel, blah, blah, blah. It's because they're catching a sense of family with the Trinity.
Yep.
And then you add into that some nostalgia, you add into that some loneliness from a time of year that's difficult or something like that. And then all of a sudden it's something that's pretty powerful.
Yep. Well, and just to make the point even clearer, Jesus says, the Father and I are going to come and make our home with you, our dwelling
Literally
place.
that word.
Yeah. And he's obviously talking about the Holy Spirit. And so just so people are aware, Jesus and the Father, they think of the Spirit, the indwelling Spirit, as home. So again, I think there's something, sometimes when we think about God, we think about abstract man upstairs with the white beard.
Yeah.
Sort of a cipher for Santa, to be honest.
I know. That is true.
It's strange.
That is true.
But there's he's up there, he's distant, he's cold, and Jesus is kind of friendly, and the Holy Spirit, that's kind of weird. But Jesus says, the Father and I, we're going to come and make our home with you. So I think there's something very deep there that I'm not sure, even me personally, I'm not really sure I completely understand all of that, but you can kind of feel a sense of something feels warm and safe and connected, and I feel known somehow and loved, and I think that's tapping into a little bit of walking with the Lord. And you're right, the dysfunctions that we have, unfortunately, holidays, those dysfunctions rear their head. I mean, you start to remember traumatic experiences that you've had, broken relationships, people who have passed away, and the brokenness of this world. So it's this interesting moment of really sweet and home, but then also painful and maybe some regret and grieving. It's a very strange, but it's a very real time.
Right.
Sometimes our calendars are so busy and we're almost like just living life and not really experiencing real deep life. Yeah. It's almost like the holiday season, there's a potential for both the pain of it, but then also that sense of home and belonging.
And also that's where you get healing. As Jess, your wife, was a counselor, said, I mean, we have to face those things and look them in the eye, and we don't want to because it's hard. And but you're absolutely right. I think that's true. It's interesting. In fact, to your point on that, again, the show that we went to with the big band and this singer Mandy Gaines, she wrote a song because she lost a good friend around this time, and it was apparently pretty quickly, is what it sounds like. And so basically, she wrote this very nice, very beautiful song for a friend, just saying, "This is going to be a tough Christmas because I won't see you," that kind of thing. It was really beautiful, and it was funny because as she's singing it, I can see people crying out of the corners of my audience, and I could actually hear someone crying over here. Yeah. It's because she was inviting people into it who've maybe lost someone or maybe just grieving for whatever reason. maybe you haven't lost someone, maybe you've had a kid that's wayward, or you've got whatever, And it was really funny because, not funny because, again, it was almost at a church,
right?
Like when we've had like prayer or some healing times at church,
something deep
called quiet.
happens.
There was something deep that happened there.
Yeah,
it was pretty awesome,
especially
actually.
since we were there for what, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and there was a marked shift.
Yep.
As soon as she started talking about, hey, I lost someone, I wrote this song, many of you have lost someone, you could feel the whole room shift.
Yep.
And something very deep and real. Not that what we were listening to before wasn't real.
No, of course.
But there's something, it just became real for everybody. It's
right.
These are weird,
because
cool
just
moments.
what you're saying, we actually stopped and thought about something. And I've again with my mom, in some ways I don't know if I'm not grieving. It's really weird. I don't know if I'm not grieving it well, or if I am grieving it well. I really don't know, because we just kind of had my sister and I, just a lot of stuff to do. We still have a lot of stuff to do around it. And I went out there. My mom was in Arizona, so it's just kind of hard getting back and forth. And just trying to keep schedule and keep Christmas schedule and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know if I'm not grieving it well or whatever, but it gave me a chance to sort of think about, this is my first Christmas without my mom, and kind of gave me a chance to kind of reflect on that. But it's I think we do run, and part of that running is to make sure we don't remember those things, which is not what's good for us.
Well, it's the dangerous edge of nostalgia, right? Because sometimes these songs, it's just joyful and it's happy and it's fun, and you get to watch Elf. You get to see Will Ferrell being a crazy elf, and sometimes, you're just doing that to self-medicate. Like,
yes. Exactly.
So the nostalgia is so weird. This is like a weird, complex, nuanced thing, because sometimes that nostalgia is actually just medicate. We're medicating to keep ourselves from facing actual, deep, real things.
Right.
And by the way, I love Elf. I'm not hating on Elf.
I love Elf.
But even like, just listening to the Cincinnati Contemporary Jazz, CCJO, playing, some of that is it's just fun.
It was great.
And there's a part of you that you could just kind of like, if I'm feeling bad, I can just listen to some really fun music and just kind of forget that I'm hurting, or forget some of this other things. But then you get those moments where it becomes real. Right,
no doubt. I want to go back to a point that you were making, is that the Trinity has called us, says they want to make their home with us. Yeah. What is one of Jesus's names that we literally sing songs about at Christmas time?
Yeah.
And what does it mean?
Yeah, so he's actually given the name Emmanuel. Emmanuel.
Right.
And then it's translated, which means God with us.
Yeah.
He's going to come and be with us.
Yeah.
And this idea that the creator of the universe, who spoke billions and billion, even more galaxies into being, he just spoke them and they were.
Yeah.
He's literally larger than life. I mean, literally.
Literally.
He spoke life.
All life is.
Yeah. And that same one wants to have the intimacy of like just deep connection, being known by this person. Like, he's the creator of the universe, and he wants to know you, and he wants you to know him. He wants that deep. Those moments like when you eat a really good meal with deep friends, and the conversation is great. Yeah. The food is great. All of a sudden, you look at your watch, and it's been 4 hours. It's like, wait, it's 10:30 at night.
Sounds like Texas Day Brazil to me.
But Texas Day Brazil. Sponsored by Texas Day Brazil.
Hey, maybe we can get them to send some stuff over. All right, Nerf.
Bow and arrow, Texas Day Brazil. That sounds like a fantastic party. But those moments where time goes away. Yeah. Because you're experiencing something that is so connected, so that you forget about time. I think this is what actually the new heavens and the new earth is. I think when we experience those moments, we're sitting down and having a meal, and time goes away.
Right.
And you're just engrossed in the conversation, the person across the table from you, and you're telling stories and laughing and enjoying just being together, and you lose track of time. You're like, the babysitter, we got to, that kind of stuff. Yeah. I think that's what eternity is. Mm-hmm. I think it's not so much, we're just eternity, so it's just forever. Yeah, we just keep looking at our watch and waiting. Right. It just keeps going on for. Yeah. No, I think it's a loss of awareness of time. Right. And that you're deeply knowing, not just the creator, but each other. So that I think that's, and it's funny to think that God has planned it, that He wants to dwell within us. Right. That's such a strange thing. Right. Yeah. I mean, most religions, you're just trying to be good. Right. So hopefully the higher power We'll let you go to the good place.
Right.
It's very cold, almost clinical, and it's very just judicious in its approach. Whereas Christianity and Jesus, like, no, I want to be with you.
Right.
The Father and I, we want to make our home with you.
Yeah.
We want the love of the Father we poured into your heart. I want to behold, I'll be with you forever.
Right.
I'll never leave you nor forsake you. I'm going to dwell within you. I want to be as close as I can be to you.
Right.
And so, listener, that's for you. That's for Raz. That's for me.
Yeah, but what if the person's really bad? I mean, what do you?
Well, and this is the scandalous good news is we're all bad. We're all messed up. We've all rebelled against him. And this is actually this shows the love of God for us, even while we were sinners.
Yep.
Even while we were running away from him, even while we were rebelling against him, even while we were saying and thinking and doing things that we're ashamed to admit. Even in those moments, he so loved us in that he sent his son to die for us. Christmas is the celebration of Jesus coming as a baby, but that baby grew up to be a man, and he had a mission, and that mission was to die for the sins of the world and to restore humanity back to God, to their Father. And so there is no earning.
Yeah. In fact, in some of you might not know this, remember one of the last words that he spoke, he's literally looking at the soldiers who have crucified him.
Yeah.
One of the worst deaths that you could do. Yeah. Crucifixion comes up by it's like Romans having a contest of what would be the worst way to kill a person, right?
How can we torture them as much as possible before they die?
Exactly. And he looks and he's like, oh, Father, forgive them. Oh. Pour your grace out on them. They don't know what they're doing. So I guess it's not about being a good guy. Yeah. I guess it's all him.
Yeah.
So that's so beautiful, man.
It's stunning.
Makes me want to sing Emmanuel right now. I mean, seriously.
Absolutely.
So when you see that, so listener and viewer, when you hear that song, when you hear Emmanuel in that, see that, just remember that he has come for us. Yeah. God has literally come for us. Emmanuel, God with us.
The truth, I think, Raz, I think you're right to bring this up. The truth is we cannot earn our way back to him. We can't do enough good things.
To that home, back to that home, that place we want to be.
He gives us access back to home.
Yeah, that's right.
He says, no one comes to the Father except through me. So our efforts to try to clean ourselves up and fix ourselves, they fall away. It's only by the grace and mercy of God that even while we were sinners, Christ died for us, making a way back to the Father, back home. All of what we're longing for is actually found in the Father himself, God the Father. And we get that by trusting in his Son, Jesus the Christ. It's beautiful.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. That's the Christmas story. We go back to Linus and Luke. I mean that really is it. Babe in a manger. It's come to save, set us free. So set us free from ourselves, set us free from sin, set us free from demonic stuff in our lives and bondage and all of these things. So even set our bodies free. I mean, in the end, where we get that. So that's pretty awesome. I think here's what I want to do. I think let's pray for our listener.
Yes.
Maybe both of us can a little bit.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna go out with a couple other good questions for you. I'll surprise you with a couple more.
And I'll just say this, just for a listener, we'll put in the show notes Cincinnati Contemporary Jazz Orchestra. They have a brand new album. It's the Nutcracker.
It's fantastic.
And it's their interpretation of the Nutcracker Suite from Tchaikovsky. Yep. It's great.
Incredible. Yeah,
it's incredible.
And there's other stuff on there too. It's not only that.
And I'll put Mandy Gaines in there too.
Awesome.
If you want to check
that's
that out.
Great.
And
I think
song
that's awesome.
that she wrote.
And should maybe put Nerf arrow on Amazon where bow and arrow.
Anybody wants to sponsor this episode, they can get me a Nerf arrow.
Texas Day Brazil. No, that's great. I love that. Maybe Charlie Brown, Vince Guaraldi. But well, Lord, we recognize that this is hard for a lot of people, and I'm telling you something that, Lord, you already know. Prayers that are coming off people's lips before they make it out into the air. And so what kind of God we have that would say, forgive them, they don't know what they're doing? What kind of God do we have that would step into our mess? Emmanuel, God with us. Lord, I just, in my own heart, Lord, I want to say to you that I want to reflect on that. I love all this stuff we've been talking about, and I don't think there's anything wrong with any of it, but I do want to spend time just reflecting on you up through as we're coming into Christmas. So just that beauty and just recognizing it, just talking about you and how wonderful you are. Thank you that it's your desire to bring us back to that place of complete and total and free and beautiful fellowship with you. So I pray, Lord, even right now that every listener, every viewer would sense your affection for them. I pray that they would know deep in their, not just in their mind, but in their heart and their spirit and their soul, they would know how much you love them, how you are for them. Lord, thank you that you're for us and you are not against us. And it is your desire to bring us back into a place of beauty and healing. And even now, I just bless our listener and viewer with saying yes to you, just recognizing that in their heart there is something there that we can sense it. And so I want to even encourage you toward a yes. I bless you toward a yes toward Jesus. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Thank you, Lord. Amen. Amen. Awesome. All right, we got a couple more minutes on here. So I'll throw this out at you. So what are for your family, your top 3 Christmas movies?
Oh, great. Okay, Elf, no doubt.
Yep.
For our family, and this is really driven by Jess because it was one of her favorites, but our family will always watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Christmas Vacation. Love that. Elf. A third one? I'm trying to think. And we watched Christmas Story. It's so classic.
Sure.
The Christmas Story.
That's right.
The tongue stuck to the light pole.
Of course.
All of these things.
Yeah. Gonna shoot your eye out.
Yeah. So that would be probably
classic.
Those would be probably the 3 classic that we'll watch, especially on Christmas Day. They're on in the background.
Sure.
What about you?
Oh yeah. You got to leave it there. I love Elf. I think it's hilarious. It's probably the best movie Will Ferrell ever made. I mean, it's fantastic. Yeah, gotta love it. And for sure, I love that one. Now, what's funny is my wife. She likes musicals, and we met in a musical in high school, and she likes a lot of the really traditional stuff, and I enjoy it as well. She likes it more than me probably, but I do enjoy it. We'll watch White Christmas. Yeah, it's classic. Yeah.
Wonderful Life? Are you a Wonderful Life?
I like Wonderful Life. She doesn't like that one as much, but I really like that one, and I love the idea and the story of how our lives do affect, because I think that's a very Christian story, a very God story. Each of us was put here for a reason, and without that, how does that change that dynamic? I mean, you really do. It actually gets you to think. I think that's what's fun about that one. So, and actually, we have some friends of ours together, the Pings, Dave and Pam Ping, who actually do some really fun stuff with that. I don't know if you're not old enough for this. For the older listener, for the one who could have babysat Jamie with me, if you remember the Rocky Horror Picture Show, it was a pop thing back in the day, back when we were in high school. It was a sort of a spoof horror movie, and they showed it at a theater. Usually, like this was the '80s, man. I don't know what was wrong with us, but like midnight. So you got like 16-year-olds going to a movie theater at midnight, and it was one of these things where you learn the movie, and then when things happen in the movie, you have your stuff with you to do it with it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There's a rain scene, and they run out with the newspaper on their head, and so everybody pulls out the newspaper.
Got it.
Stupid stuff from the '80s that we did, just anyway. So Rocky Horror Picture Show. So they adapted that for some groups that they had for It's a Wonderful Life. Oh. So they give you like bells, and they give you, it was really fun. Jesse, my youngest, did that with us one time with them, and I thought that was so fun and so creative. But anyway, I like It's a Wonderful Life. I think it's excellent. Yeah, Julie likes White Christmas, and then there's another one that's just like it. Same. It's like Gene Autry or I can't think of it right now. It's where all the all these famous songs come from. But it's funny it's funny because those were almost like vaudeville movies. Yeah. Like it's always dancing, it's always singing, stuff like that. But that's kind of her jam. What's funny is a lot of people like Home Alone as one because obviously it kind of takes place at Christmas, and they see that one as kind of classic. Now the one that always gets me a little bit, and I always think's kind of weird, is it's almost like if there's a Christmas scene in it, it becomes a Christmas movie. But it's like Die Hard.
Dude,
like
it's Christmas. Everyone knows it's
totally
Christmas.
A Christmas movie. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Listener,
I do like.
Vote in on that.
Don't get me wrong.
Die Hard is
I
Christmas.
like Die Hard. I'm just like, I don't know. Right. But I could definitely go with it on Home Alone. And then, but anyway, so I think that'd be fun again to hear from you guys. What's some of your favorite Christmas movies? And then honestly, we were talking about it, but Charlie Brown's our favorite. You know, it's funny, Julie. It was funny as we got more into a digital age or whatever. It was really fun back in the day. Then she would. Like, I'd come home from work one night and it'd be, I don't know, a week before Christmas, and she'd be like, all right. And she'd have, like, dinner ready or something. And then she'd put on the DVD, and it'd be on or something like that. So she knew I always loved that.
Can I give a bonus one? It's not really Christmas.
No.
But I associate it with Christmas. And anybody my age, sort of graduating high school in the late 90s into the early 2000s and in college days, when I would come home from college break, this is when Lord of the Rings had just come out with their bonus DVDs, their extended, and I know you don't care for but
come on.
But they have the extended DVDs with all the director's cut, and instead of being a 2-hour movie, you know, it's a 3.5, 4-hour movie with all the extended scenes. When I'd be home on Christmas break in college, I would come home and I would put in. I would just watch. I would binge watch. This is before there was streaming. It was like the actual DVDs.
Sure. Oh yeah.
And I would binge watch all 3 of the extended. So I associate Christmas time.
Sure.
With
that makes sense.
With Lord of the Rings.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's kind of a bonus one.
See, that's again that kind of for you that for you in your case, that's kind of a nostalgia thing.
Right.
So probably even when you see that, you think of because you love. I mean, as a college student, man, that's
Christmas
the jam.
break.
That is the jam.
Bailey's enjoying it right now, and
it's so awesome. You know, you're pretty worn, and you've done some stuff. I was so amazed too. I remember my freshman year of college, we were on a semester, so I guess it depends if you're quarters or semesters. But I remember it was like, our last day is like December 10th, you know, and then we weren't going back to like January, 28th or something. I know. I was like, this is awesome.
So amazing.
So I could definitely see how that would resonate with you if something that you did. But anyway, seriously, you guys, it'd be really fun to hear what some of your movies are, some of your favorite, even some of your favorite music CDs. I love the Vince Guaraldi. I'm kind of a jazzer guy, but I love one of my favorite guys, Eddie Higgins Trio. If you've not heard him, it's fantastic. If you're a big band, Stan Kenton's got a great Christmas album. Man, that's my thing as a musician. So I literally have a box of CDs. I probably have 100 Christmas CDs, including your Mariah Carey.
Right.
That's probably more for Julie, But we absolutely love Christmas stuff around here. So anyway, we'd love to hear from you guys, and we hope that you guys have fun with us today and just are blessed in this. And we pray that you do have an amazing Christmas with your families. I pray that whatever worries that you have, that the Lord's peace will just be on you about that, and that you'll experience some of these things of just home, of closeness with the Father, of even just loving and serving one another. So anyway, we thank you guys for looking in, listening in. Again, I'm Raz, Dr. J, Mikey B.
Yeah. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Show the sweater again. Beautiful.
Boom. Ugly Christmas sweater. Merry Christmas.